that kid plays baseball. And that's why the Dodgers signed him and paid him all that money.
Definitely. When he was with the Red Sox, that was my favorite player out there to go see. And what drew me even more is just seeing the way he plays. You just mentioned it all. And that's, for me, that's what baseball is about. And especially in the World Series, coming out and playing like that. And that's how you have those defining moments. And as much as, yes, I may dislike the Dodgers a little bit, but for me, it's Mookie Betts. How can I dislike the Dodgers when they have Mookie? Come on.
Yeah, how can you not like Mookie Betts and what he does? He is the epitome of what every baseball player should be.
Exactly. So that's what makes it even more exciting, more fun to watch. I want to pose you this question. And it's one question that I ask myself time and time again, and it's always a battle, but I don't think there's a right and a wrong answer, especially what we've seen this postseason. We're seeing the Rays and how great they've been, and they're like going out there, just having fun, putting it out, what they were able to accomplish and come on top and make it to a pennant. We have the Dodgers and what they're doing game one, going out there, breaking it open and seeing what baseball is actually all about and what you want to see each and every game. We're seeing the pitching, how phenomenal and great it can be. We also seen how bad can that be? Goodness sakes. And the struggles in the last show, we talked about it, and we really tore that apart. We tore Kershaw apart for that. But we also see, like Mookie and Bellinger swinging the bat and making those plays, making those home runs, and being on fire and being quick, being fast, making those catches. But what matters most in a game, in a World Series? You and I briefly had a conversation recently. You're pitching. I think if you're pitching in a team, if you have your pitching in order, everything else tends to come together. But we've also seen those games, and maybe it's a matter of luck that it works out, where their pitching isn't always the best, but they're able to maneuver through. But the bat is where they come out swinging, and they and a team tends to win that game. But what matters? Is it a combination, having that pitching in place in an order and a combination of having that offense, that defense, or is it more one than the other?
I think the Dodgers showed that it's pretty much everything. You've got to have a complete package, especially at this stage of the season when you're at the pinnacle. You're in the World Series. You get no bigger than this as far as the stage for baseball. The World Series is as big as it gets. And for the Dodgers to have Clayton Kershaw pitch as well as he did tonight, 8 strikeouts, and let me scroll down, get some stats. In 6 innings, he had 8 strikeouts, gave up 2 hits. That's about as good as Clayton Kershaw is going to get. But then you add on 8 runs in a multitude of ways the Los Angeles Dodgers got it, via the home run, via the small ball, via so many different ways the Dodgers can beat you. And they showed you tonight in game 1 that the Dodgers are not just a home run hitting team. They're not just a team that scores a lot of runs. They can beat you in a myriad of ways. They can beat you with their legs. They can beat you with their gloves. Mookie Betts showed you that just a couple of days ago against the Atlanta Braves. In a game-clinching Game 7, he jumps up and robs a home run like it's nothing. He jumps like, oh my gosh, he jumps like a basketball player to rob somebody from a home run, from a potential home run. So it takes the entire team to win a championship, not just pitching, not just hitting, not just good management. It takes an entire team to win a championship.
Which is why I pose this question, because it's, you get to see it all, but we're getting to see that with the Dodgers. You get the good, you also get the bad.
Right. Because it's never going to be a perfect game. No matter what you do, no matter how you game plan for a game, it never turns out the way that you actually want it to be. Of course, ideally, every team would love this to have their starting pitcher throw a no-hitter, and you're hitting balls all over the place. You're hitting home runs and you're stealing bases and you're doing everything that you ideally want to do. But it's never going to go the way you want it to go perfectly. Things are going to go wrong in the course of a game. You saw it happen in both the ALCS and the NLCS. Yeah, the Braves thought they were in cruise control when they were up 3-1, and the Tampa Bay Rays were like, "Oh man, we're up 3-0. All we got to do is win one more, and we knock out the Houston Astros." But no, it didn't work out that way. It's a momentum shift. Things shift so crazily in this level of sports, especially at this stage of the season. In October baseball, like you said, Joe, so many wild things happen and just crazy things happen. But the team that comes out on top is the one that can withstand all this crazy stuff, all the madness, all the drama, all the things that can go topsy-turvy and upside down, and they come out on top.
With that last comment that you made, Ed, it's also not only that matters, and being able to keep it all, and coming up on top, keeping it on pace. Yes, you're going to have your ups and downs, but also your mentality makes a major factor into going in and who's going to be a winner. Because there's a lot of up and down. There's a roller coaster. We've seen the roller coaster that the postseason has been. And even just game one, starting it off how it is, and you're like, oh my gosh, and it breaks wide open. And we've seen comebacks, as well, thinking, hey, this team has won it. Actually, no, wait a second. And then the other team comes back. So it's game one has been very exciting to watch nonetheless. If the games that follow are just as good, I can only imagine the World Series that it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. And the series is clearly not over. If the Dodgers are going to win, they have to win 3 more. And Tampa Bay is here for a reason. They're a very good baseball team, 40-20. Their record wasn't too much worse. The Dodgers weren't too much better record-wise. They were 43-17. So they were 3 games better record-wise than the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays deserved to be here, but they just ran into a buzzsaw tonight with Clayton Kershaw. When Clayton's at his best, this is the result that you get. And when the Dodgers are at their best with their bats, and everything else they do small ball wise and everything else they need to do, the Dodgers are doggone near unbeatable. But there's still 3 more games the Dodgers have to win. And this series is far from over. I think the Rays are going to come back and it's going to be a good series. I still think it's going to go possibly 6 or 7 games. It's just going to be ebbs and flows. And tonight was the Dodgers night, but who knows? Wednesday night might be the Rays night. Definitely.
Dodgers, number 1 team.
Yes.
When was the last time? I don't have I don't have that. And with you mentioning that, I posed a question. I want to know, when was the last time that a number 1 team in baseball, because I believe
won the World Series?
When is that they won the World Series?
Oh.
That's something to look out, because they're just, Dodgers are great. I'm not gonna lie, but the Rays are also they're also phenomenal. They're also phenomenal. Another, we talked about it a little bit ago, the reasons why you should look out for the Rays. Do not count them out, because they come out there, they come out to play, put it all out there and have fun. And, we've seen throughout the postseason, they're scrappy, like Kevin Ray said, they're a scrappy team. They're going to come out, they're going to fight. So, and that's what makes this even more fun and seeing, and it's a Cinderella story, like we talked about on our special. The Rays are that Cinderella story, and it just gives you hope and be like, oh, this team can do it. Because I believe this is the second time that they make it to the World Series, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the first time was in 2008 when they played the Phillies. Mm-hmm. So this is their second time. Oh, and to answer your trivia question, the last time the number 1 seed won the World Series was the Boston Red Sox back in 2013.
2013.
When they beat the St. Louis Cardinals. Beat them in 6.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it wasn't that long ago, but I just couldn't remember the year. I feel like, oh my gosh, how can I not know that? It was the Boston Red Sox. Come on.
It's okay. It's all right.
But it's all good. Definitely, it's going to be one of those series to watch. And hey, I call it going 7 games. Why not? Both playing, what they put out there, playing their hearts out, and you can see it's a duel of a game for game 1. So
Yep. So the Rays have some film to watch. They know what they need to do to come back and beat the Dodgers in game 2 and make it a series. So yes, they got smacked in the mouth in the first game, but let's see how they respond. Can a champion like the Tampa Bay Rays, can an American League champion like the Tampa Bay Rays bounce back from this loss and come back and hopefully win game 2 and tie it up?
Rays have to come back. They don't, if they do not win game 2, they definitely have to win game 3 because you don't want to be that far behind and then trying to play catch up. Even though we have seen it, and we did see it this postseason, how you have a team that can just creep up and just gain that momentum and come on top.
Yep.
We don't want that to happen to the Rays. As fun as that would be to watch, but at the same time, you don't want to be biting your nails down to the bone.
Well, at least one good thing in an off year, in a crazy year like this, if it was a normal year, they'd be playing in LA right now. And if they lost game 2, they'd be down 2-0, traveling all the way to Tampa. At least they don't have the travel factor. Something else that's involved, something else that's thrown into the mix as far as the Tampa Bay Rays trying to get back into the series. Should they lose tomorrow night, at least they don't have to travel.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the things that has become an advantage for the postseason and for this World Series. Is the travel. It saves a lot of energy too. I want to go on and get your answer for those who don't know already. And I know we talked about this in our postseason special. Who do you have for the World Series?
To win it, I think this is the Dodgers' year. This is their 3rd trip in the last 4 years. And of course, they didn't win the other 2 times, but I think this is their year. I think the Dodgers are destined to win this year, much to the dismay of you and Eileen and others. But Mr. Brett Lauren, I'm sure he's loving what's happening tonight, and he's loving my prediction. but I still think Tampa's going to make it a series. I think it's going to go at least 6 games, but I see the Dodgers winning in 6 games.
So for me, it's a twist. So I did my bracket for the postseason.
Okay.
I put it out there on social media. I got some good laughs out of it. Eileen. But I picked the Dodgers to go all the way and come out winners, World Series champions. So we'll see how that turns out. But I would personally like to see the Cinderella story and see the Rays come on top.
I would too, but it's just the Dodgers, like Kevin Ray said, they are so loaded. It's like a freight train. Once that freight train starts, like it did tonight in that 4th inning, that 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, when they scored all 8 of their runs, they are so hard to beat. The Dodgers, when they get rolling, you cannot stop that train.
Indeed. No, I'm excited. I do not want baseball season to end. I do not want October to be over, because we know once October, at the end of October approaches, that means there's no more baseball being played.
We'll still have NFL, Joe. We'll still have the NFL.
It's not baseball.
Oh, okay.
And then you know what that means? You and PLR and everyone else is going to have to. Yeah, you'll see how fun those withdrawals are. I don't think you've seen that side of me yet.
No,
PLR
no.
has. So the withdrawals are going to kick in about
you'll be climbing the walls for baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want baseball back. I want baseball. So if the Dodgers win, I want Dave Roberts to finally get his first championship, get that monkey off of his back, because I know he has to hear this every single day that he's taken them as far as he has, and they've never won a championship under him. So if he wins the championship this year, he can shut up all the critics that have really criticized him for not bringing the Dodgers in Los Angeles a championship.
Yes, indeed, and boy, have we!
Yes, and he's right along with Dusty Baker, just a really nice guy, a great manager. You know, he may be criticized for some of the decisions he's made over the course of the last couple of seasons with some of his moves with some of his personnel with pitchers and players and everything. But he's still a heck of a manager. To take them where he's taken them since he's been the manager, he deserves a lot of credit for that. And he should cap it off this year with the world title.
Definitely, that would be like the cherry on top. But yes, it's social media time. It's time to wrap it up. As much as I hate to say that, we will be bringing you more next week. By next week we will know who the World Series champs are. I cannot wait. I'm just getting goosebumps thinking of baseball for the next week, and then having it be over. Moving on, Ed. See how much I'm already dreading that baseball is gonna come to an end for the season, or I'm like,
I know,
not looking forward to it.
I know.
Be ready for the memes on Twitter and the withdrawals effective 8 days from today. Okay, 8 days from today.
Okay.
Yes. So where can our lovely audience, fans, listeners